morning. Good morning, everyone. How we doing this morning? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing this morning? Everybody doing good? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part, guys. Yesterday was a phenomenal day. I'm glad you were able to be here and be a part of the journey. As we get started this morning, guys, I just want you to take an opportunity to go ahead and check in as you always do. Check in below. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is. It's good to have you here, be a part of the process. Also, I would like for you to make sure you do that survey. We're going to be talking about failure this morning, people. Failure. Have you failed? What do you do when you fail? How do you handle failure? Is it your fault? All of these things are going to be a part of our conversation this morning. So I'm excited about that. As always, I'm ready to hear what's on your mind as well, people. Like, what are we thinking about? What are we doing today? What are we working on? What are some of the things that's going to be important to us? It is 6:16. Happy AM birthday to my wife. Those of you who were here yesterday, you know that my wife is now monetized. So make sure you let your friends and family know. They can head on over to that, the Baby Birds or Bird Crew page and check us out there, see what's going on. So this morning, guys, I'm gonna give everybody a few moments to go ahead and get in here. I want to appreciate everything you've done. I want to be thankful. I want to thank you guys for choosing to spend some time here with me, to be in attendance for these mornings. I am not outside this morning. No excuses, I'm just not outside this morning. So thank you for being here, guys. Make sure you go ahead and drop it to the chat. Again, where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. We want to talk about failure. We want to talk about how to grow from failure and talk about how failure really impacts you, the importance of being able to understand your own growth. We're going to discuss all the things success. People look at failure as being an end to success. People view failure as the ultimate definition of not being successful. So very rarely do people define success in any other way as the antithesis of failure, right? No, failure comes in many forms, in many ways, and people will accept it in many ways. But success can only be, most people only define success as the opposite of failure, right? And the reason they do that is because most people don't know when they've succeeded, right? Life is a journey. Everything that we do in life is a journey. It's going to take time. We're going to have to get to certain places at certain times. Because it's a journey and it's going to take us a while to get there, the understanding that this journey is going to require for us to be patient. It's going to require for us to put in a significant amount of effort. And that in order for us to arrive at success, we must define it. Have you defined anything that is success for you? Do you know anything that's you're trying to do right now that you would consider an attempt at achieving success? That's going to be a big thing. So for a lot of people, there is no. Like, the answer is no. It's simply like, I don't know. I'm just doing my work. I hear quite often, this. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to what? I'm just trying to get to the weekend. I'm just trying to get to the end of the day. I'm just trying to get to my paycheck. I'm just trying to get to my birthday. Everybody's just trying to get somewhere. But what's the point of getting there? Like, why are you just trying to get there? Is that going to be a success for you? Is arriving there going to be something where you're going to be like, hey, I've made it. I'm successful. You know, like, this is it. This is what I was trying to get to. Hello, success. Or are we just getting there because we're getting there, right? Are we just getting there for the sake of not being where we are? If we're only getting somewhere because it is the best way that we can figure out how to not be where we are, then what is it? It's not success, it's just the end, right? For example, let's say you go to a movie theater, right? Let's say, hey, I want to go to a movie this week. You know, I want to get out, I want to go enjoy the movie. And you have a whole thought process. You're like, I think first I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat, and then I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna head to the mall or wherever my local theater is, and I'm gonna enjoy some scenery and people watch and maybe meet someone new, and then I'm gonna go to the movie and I'm gonna, get a drink, or enjoy a snack, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm gonna process it, because some people don't process movies after they watch them. You know, that whole thing about talking about it after you watch it, like what's interesting, what wasn't. And then I'm gonna go home. At what point is the evening a success? Well, for most people it's not. It's just an evening. Like, I don't need to succeed at everything. Okay, well, ultimately, everything that we do is an attempt to arrive at an emotional state or to leave an emotional state. And so if we're trying to arrive at an emotional state that allows for us to feel happy or have joy, then this is a part of that. And the success is, did we achieve that along this journey? And so for so many people, because there is no goal, I'm just going to watch a movie, man, don't make it such a big deal. There's a difficulty in finding out or arriving at what you're looking for, which is happiness, which is success, which is succeeding at the thing you're doing. And so you do all of this stuff and then you're done, right? So you can say, yeah, I went out and, I saw a movie. It was pretty good, I ate some pretty good food, and, I had a good time. So most people don't get to a point where they say, the night was a success. The evening was a success. Most people just say, okay, yeah, we had a good time. However, almost to the person, if the evening does not go as planned, it's usually addressed as the evening was a failure. Like, this was a failure. Every time I try to get together with my friends, every time I try to get out, every time I try to do something, So we have a tendency of being able to identify and articulate failures, but we have a tremendous amount of difficulty being able to identify and to speak to the things that work, the things that are successful. And so that means that we are understanding failure as a thing. Failure has a definition. It's definable. I can identify it when I see it, but success is not. Success is only the opposite of failure, but because we cannot identify what success is, we never get to those successes, which prevents us from celebrating at the times when those successes occur, and we find ourselves just repeating the same things over and over and over again. And so that leads to issues. So I've been talking for a minute. Thank you. I want to say good morning to everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Oloropo Bird. If you haven't met me before, you can drop your name. You can drop where you are, what time it is, where you are, where you check in for the chat. January said, hey dude, where you from? I am from Washington, D.C., born and raised. Bro, I am losing to just all right. Arosh Singh. I'm not sure what you're saying. I think you need to restate that for me if possible. Daniel. Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you, Daniel. Twiggy, hi. 600 label. What's up, 600? From DC and a Cowboys fan? Sweet, I know. Yeah, a large family, many brothers and sisters, all Redskins fans. I'm the Cowboy guy. Are you saying that you have an exam coming up, Arush, and you're stressed out about it? Is that what you're saying? Donald. Good morning, Donald. How are you doing? So, what we're talking about today is failure and success, right? And fear. And this is why, like, right? This is interesting because fear is based off of the unwanted outcome of failure, right? So, from Australia, welcome in, Striker. How are we doing this morning? All right, All Blacks. I heard that's a really good team. I don't follow rugby as closely as I do American sports, but I heard that the All Blacks are a really good team down there. Okay, Riley. So Arush said, bro. I mean, I'm not sure. You said, bro. I mean, lust. Do you mean loss? That is the boy thing that we don't know. I'm not sure what the question is. I'm trying to figure it out. That's not something we cover in this in this particular chat, Riley. But thank you for stopping in. All right, so guys, the thing about fear is the fear that fear. Yes, it's a mind killer, as Stryker says. It's also a motivation killer. But the fear is based on us failing at something, right? So everyone can accept, or you want to call it anxiety or difficulty sleeping or whatever it may be. We as a species have accepted that fear and failure are both acceptable things, and they occur constantly in our lives. There are so many ways for us to fail. There are so many different things. There are so many challenges that we're always facing, that failure is imminent, and we are constantly living in a state of not doing good enough. We're constantly living in a state of not achieving. Well, the flip side of that is when you look at everything that you face, if there's the possibility of failure, there's an equal possibility of success. And they're both in your control, right? So that's going to be one of the reasons that you want to work directly with success and identify it. You want to work directly within your space at being able to say, hey, what's success for me? And then don't let success be quantified, or let the success only be determined by the people outside of you. Only be seen, or the level be set by the people outside of you. Am I not able to get through, or lectures, of course. I come in the States. So Arush is still talking. Arush has responded. And says difficulty in lectures. I come in a state in that moment that I give up the dreams I am embodied for so long. So it is, Stryker, it is a state of potential indeed. So Arush, the thing is, what we're talking about, and I'm going to kind of stay on point with everyone here, but I think Arush is raising an interesting point, is that when he encounters difficulty in the moment, so Not being able to follow a lecture is a failure, which creates stress. Not being able to maintain focus when studying is a failure. Not being able to pass the quiz, or fear of not being able to pass the exam, is a failure. And so all of these things have been quantified. You said all of these things, these particular things are all failures. But you had to get to that point, right? So how did you get to this exam? How did you get to this point where you're facing the exam? How did you achieve what you've achieved to this point? If you've gotten to your second exam, right? If you've gotten to the second exam, excuse me, if you've arrived at this second exam, there had to be work that you did to get to this point. If you did work to get to this point and arrive at where you are right now, the question that you have to ask yourself is, how did I get here? Right? And so if you've gotten this far, you've had at least enough success to be here. Can you identify the moments where you were successful, and did you celebrate them? That's the first thing. We're not even going to worry about, can we reproduce them? We're not going to worry about, hey, what did we do to make it happen? Did you celebrate when you were successful? When you passed the first exam, did you take time to celebrate? As you went through your growth, did you take time to celebrate? And this is one of the things about success, guys, is we only view success as the end, right? Because everything that we do is in terms of, oh, well, this is preparing you for the next thing, and this is preparing you for the next thing, and this is preparing you for the next thing, which is true. Failure does the same thing. Failure prepares you for the next thing. If you're taking on a challenge and you fail at whatever that challenge is, the things that you did to prepare for it, or the things that you did while performing that specific challenge, provide you with feedback that allow for you to incorporate or to build in changes that will increase the probability of success the next time, right? So you're learning even in that process. So even if you do fail while taking that step, it's still a process of being successful. It's still a process of growth. So we have to be able to accept that the work that we do that goes into what we're trying to achieve is all a part of the success process. It's all a part of that growth process. Stryker says it also a state of potential that is agreed. What seems to be going through something. Good morning, Jamie. Stryker said, fear can stagnate someone when internalized. Paranoia, including when suppressed, yet any reaction to fear results in experience. Fear is opportunity, is a truth. That is true. Arush, I have a friend who is able to manage school exams and the preparations of that exam. And bro, I am obsessed. Exam. Kickstart my career, but my words, execution, faces, failure, it won't start, or it doesn't continue for long. It's internal. It's internal, Arush. Just like, you gotta face it. At this point, Arush, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Everything that you're saying right now is something that's internalized and it's dedicated to you. You're looking at people outside of you. You're looking at other things. I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna speak directly to you, Arush. You have got to find a place within yourself where you have decided you're going to do something. You have to move away from this fear that you are incapable of doing something. They're both built off of the same energy. They're both built off of your view of what is to come. It does not matter at this point whether you fail or you succeed. I understand that in your opinion, this is a huge thing. It'll determine where you are in the next level of your life and the next thing that you want to do. I just want to let you know I'm a world away, saying, Arush, I'm here in the United States. The next thing that you need to do for you is the next things that you need to do for you. However, you get to determine how you're going to go into it. Right now, you have to take a deep breath. You have to understand that your execution and your performance is going to be based off of your efforts and the work you do. So the things that you do today go into your tomorrow. This is the preparation for that. Lock, as they say here in the United States, lock in, get loaded, and get to work. Because it's going to be what it's going to be. And all worrying about it is going to do is make it more difficult. Twiggy, multiple highs from Twiggy. That's kind of you to speak with our Rouge. Good call. Thank you very much, Striker. Let's see, we have Jamie is saying hi again. James, Mozambique. Welcome in, James from Mozambique. Guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Please take an opportunity to do the survey, guys. The survey speaks specifically to how you deal with fear, right? But what's important about being able to deal with fear and understanding the part that it plays in success is it it should help you identify what success is, and not just identify what success is, but to be able to appreciate and enjoy success at the time when it happens. Striker, that's kind of you. He said, shows you interact authentically. I'm trying my best to interact authentically. Not a problem, Arush. Please don't hesitate to come back. I'm on here every morning from between 4:30 and 6:30. You can drop in, give us an update, and give us some feedback as how the exam goes. We'd love to hear back from you. So I'll meditate on your words while you chat. Thank you very much. So as we continue to move in our life, oh, you can stay here. No, definitely you can stay in the chat. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I understand the exam is coming up. I would love to hear back from you about the exam. It is anyways next year, January. That's fine. So you have plenty of time to prepare. Don't spend the next 6 months stressing, dude. Like, you're going to be ready. I know the fact that you're having the consideration, right? And this is one of the things I think is important for a lot of us, is we get worried about something, right? We have a concern about something, and then we start spending so much of our time focused on the thought of failure that we don't, or we're unable to prepare appropriately for what success is going to look like, which means we can't see success. We see failure more. So I'm going to share experience of my own, right? So my wife and I have been together for over 14 years now. And early on in the relationship, I noticed that my behaviors towards my wife were based on things I didn't want to happen to me versus the things that I wanted to be and who I wanted to be to my wife. And what does this mean? Well, if you're in a relationship and you're like, okay, well, I don't want this person to leave me, or I don't want this person to hurt me, or I don't want this person to speak bad of me, or I don't want this person to see me a certain way, then what you do is you start to take actions to try not to make those things happen, right? And so you say, well, I don't want this person to see me the wrong way. So let me not show this part of me to this person so that they don't see me this way that I think that they're going to see me, because I don't want them to see me that way. Do you hear all of this that's going on? And so now you start acting in a way to prevent from being seen in a certain way, right? The alternative is, I want this person to see me this way, right? So be that. It's a lot easier to be who you want to be seen as than it is to try not to be who you don't want to be seen as. Because if you're making an attempt to not be someone else, that prevents you from just being yourself, right? So let's think about it for a moment. Let's take it a step further. If you are young fighter, and young fighter just steps in and says, I'm 16, man. I just want to become a millionaire at 17, 18. What should I do? Start grinding, young fighter. You want me to give you a specifics? You want me to tell me what job you should get? I don't know where you're at right now, but start grinding. But if you are a young fighter and you know who you are as a young fighter, but you don't want someone to see you as the avatar of young fighter 16, then you start trying to act the opposite of young fighter 16 versus just acting as who you are as young fighter. That's going to be the key. Ruth says, the fear has grown so much that even difficult things seem that I won't be able to do it, even though I know I can. That's the thing. No, you can, man. God bless you, Bulk. Good morning. Stryker says, fear is also the cultivator of the five senses, too. You know, our body sweats as a warning of overheating, etc. Fear is growth and anticipation through failure. Naturally, sorry to talk. Heaps. GD subject. So here's the thing. You're right about fear, but our body responds the same way. Like scientifically, they've shown that our body has the same physical reaction to anticipation of something exhilarating or enjoyable as it does to the anticipation of failure or something stressful. Like we sweat, you know, we can tremor, you know, and so this isn't just the fear thing. It is in large part an interpretation thing, right? And so interpretation of something is going to lead to how we live within that space, because it's going to let us know whether or not we're going to enjoy this or whether or not we're not going to enjoy it. And if we're fearful, if we have so much fear that we're going to fail, even during the process of doing it, we will perform in a way that's going to prevent us from hitting our mark. We're going to perform in a way that's going to prevent us from enjoying the process, even if we succeed. Uh, young fighter, having 10 kids, a good idea. I have 7, so I think having 10 kids might not be that bad of an idea. Oh, Jesus. Somebody wants the Lamar Jackson edit. I said I wasn't going to do this. Someone's asked me this a couple of times, but there you go. Daddy's money, you got your Lamar Jackson edit. Bro, you trying to be Elon. Who should? Young fighters trying to be Elon. All right, and so welcome in, Billy. Are you Lit One, the YouTuber? I'm not sure who Lit One is, so I'm gonna have to say no. I don't even understand what that question is. Stryker, he says, we evolve through fear. We imagine through fear. This can create much success. It can, right, Stryker? So one of the things that I want to do, Earth is flat. One of the things that I want to do, because I appreciate your input, Stryker, is I do want to share that in order for us to be able to achieve certain things, there has to be not necessarily a fear, but there has to be an understanding that there's something out there that we need to achieve. Like there's something out there that is presenting us with a challenge, something that's going to require for us to grow in order for us to overcome it, right? It's going to require for us to develop some strength and some knowledge and some technology in order to overcome whatever this thing may be. I mean, I'm more of an excited person as well, Stryker. Could be called reckless, but fear of failure is weak against the interpretation and intrepidation. All right. So all of those things are going to go towards. I hear what you're saying, Striker. First, I want to say that I understand what you're saying about you have a tendency to you and a Roosh are kind of separate. I mean, different. You're like the polar opposites. It's like, okay, here's something challenging coming. I'm not going to be fearful of it. I'm going to take it head on, right? Because there is the possibility of failure. I'm going to take this identifiable fear, this identifiable emotion that I can feel that's telling me that I may not be successful in this, and I'm gonna run headlong into it. So like prove me wrong. And then Arush, on the other hand, is saying that when I see this, it kind of paralyzes me. It makes me pause. It gives me fret, and it prevents me from doing some of the things that I know I should be doing in order to get there. Even though, as Arusha said, I know I can pass it. He says, I know I'm smart enough to get it done. And so Arush says, bro, that's privilege, and what others are having is illegal. I'm not sure whose response that was. Kaz, have you left Kaz, or are you still here? You were trolling for a minute. I don't think we gave Kaz any footing for the trolling. He may have left. Baby Bubba, no, he's still here. What's good, Black? Something you need to get off your chest? Black? No, I'm good, Baby Bubba. Thank you so much, Striker, saying, I get this, Striker, but what if those words and vows we take in adrenaline, it breaks you in the moment when it attacks you, Striker? Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point, Arush, is it cannot break you if that is the commitment. Even if you don't arrive at the specific outcome that you're looking for. And I think this is important, and that's what fear does. The fear is the what if, right? Fear is what if. For example, I've only had this channel for a little over 6 months, right? I started this channel in January of this year, and then it's kind of grown a little bit, different things for me, meaning different things about me being able to reach out and speak. But one of the things I do know is that one of the concerns was fear, right? And so when you have fear of, is anybody going to show up? Is the stream going to be zero, right? Which is like a real thing. Does this have an opportunity of being anything other than a place for me to just come and vent? All of these are things that can present themselves as challenges. But what you have to look at is not the challenges, not the fears. You have to look at, what is the purpose? What is your goal? And how are you going to work towards it? And for me, currently, it's going up and down, but right now it's saying that there's about 27 people on this live. That is success for me, right? That's a celebration. Like, that's better. That's better than the 3 that I used to start with. But what does it mean? What does it mean when we start to set these expectations? And I would love to have 10,000 people in a live. I'd love to be able to have speaking events that I'm paid to go to. I would love to be able to participate in so many ways, as a speaker, a motivator, an advisor, life coach, developer. All of these things are part of the plan for me. But it all takes steps in order to get there, right? So where I am right now is a part of the journey. But if I'm so worried about never reaching 1,000 people on a live stream, right? If my concern is, man, well, I'm not at 1,000 yet, then I approach this with desperation versus with intent, because I'm looking for the wrong thing. I'm looking to achieve a specific number, not achieve a specific goal. One of the things that I heard from one of the speakers on YouTube, his name is Myron Golden. He has this really good line, and he says, one of the reasons that you're not able to achieve anything in terms of your business is because you're only looking for solutions for yourself. You're only looking for answers for yourself. How do I make more money? How do I get more clients? How do I move more? How do I, like, all of these things are solutions for you versus the solutions for the people who would be paying you for the solutions you provide to them, right? How do I reduce your taxes? How do I help you build a legacy? How do I help you establish a generational legacy for your family? How do I help you with like any of these things that you want to do? How do I help you improve your fitness? How do I help you get a better understanding of budgeting? How do I help you? These are all things that I want to be able to speak to and help people with and provide. So having this chat is not about, and this is important, having this live is not about getting up here, this little thing, this little number up to 10,000 or 1,000 or 100,000. That's not what the chat is about. It's about being able to engage the way I have with Arush, the way I have with Stryker, the way I have with others, about being able to speak directly to a need and helping people to move and see success in that space, to understand that we don't overcome fear. We just don't let fear control us. Everything is an emotion. People say don't be driven by emotion. I'm going to explain to you what this means. We all have an emotion. Happiness is an emotion. Joy is an emotion, the same way fear and sadness are emotions, but they are not drivers. Don't be driven. If you don't want to be driven by emotion, and this is important, if you don't want the emotion of fear to control you, don't let the emotion of happiness control you either. Neither one of these can be the controllers. You have to understand that they're both destinations, right? If you're sad, you want to go from sad to happy, right? But happy doesn't control you getting happy. It's the things that you do as you make that journey from sad to happy, right? So what so many of us do is we get caught in and we live in the emotion that we're leaving from or where we're departing from, right? And so thank you very much. So it's important for us to understand, hey, I'm unhappy right now. I don't feel good right now. And I don't want to stay here. I want to move away from this. So I don't want to emotionally just say, okay, well, I want to be happy, so I'm mad I'm not happy. I'm gonna start throwing things to see if that makes me happy. Or I'm gonna do more of the things that I've done that have led me to being sad, or I'm going to do nothing. Like there's a practical way to say, hey man, listen, happiness is here to be had. The first thing about being happy is appreciation. And I have this conversation all the time. Appreciation is the first step to achieving any level of happiness. We have to appreciate what we have, where we have it, and how we have it before we can start to truly understand happiness. Because if we appreciate where we are and what we have, when we get more, it just adds to that happiness, right? It just starts to build happiness. But if we're looking for happiness, if we're looking for something to make us happy, it is going to always be temporary. Happiness is going to consistently be temporary because once we've achieved that thing and it's gone, we're out there looking for happiness again, right? So let's see. I want to go back. Rich, welcome in. That's my man. The Greater Conversation is Rich from down in Australia. How you doing this morning? So Kaz said noise. DJ Mars looks like he's having a banana for breakfast. Arush, no, not all. Looks like Arush and Stryker have been talking. It's survival of the fittest. Installed fear there. It's actually of the co-op. It is definitely of the group being able to work together. Thank you very much, baby. Oh, you. Oh, it's OLUROPO. I'm gonna see if I can put my name in the chat. Give me a second. There we go. That's the full name, Olorobo Bird. It's Yoruba. Good morning, Ryan. Welcome in, brother. How you doing this morning? Are you at the gym? If you had enough objectivity to give each other the grace to just exist as is, without judgment, fear, hatred, we would be awesome. You can. You can. So Striker, I agree. And that's the thing, right? Now I'm gonna be honest with you though, Striker. I'm gonna be honest. I want to share this with you because what you're saying is very poignant, and it's a part of communal living. There are two things to keep in mind. One, many people are their biggest, yes, it is Yoruba, are there many people are their biggest detractor, right? So for so many people, the thing keeping them from moving forward is them. Oftentimes that's based in fear, right? And that fear is based off of the acceptance of those outside them, which leads back to your statement of, if we can accept people for who people are and not place these preconceived notions that have been handed to us from generation and generation, then it came out as your own worst enemy. I love that. So, an enemy. I like that. So, so that's why it's important. Good morning, Keon. That's why it's important to understand if we have this difficulty, right? If we have these challenges with being able to accept ourselves, and then we have this fear of not being successful, and then there's a world that says we're all looking at you and we know that you're not going to be successful, or you're not going to be like us, which is the standard by which you should be defining your own success. Well, hello again, Keon. That's 3 times. Good morning. And so if we know that this is one of the ways in which we develop as humans and we develop as people, what do we have to do, right? What can we control? Well, we can't control that there are people who don't think like us, right? We can't control that. We can't control that certain people in certain places will have a view of what they believe is the right way for someone to talk, or what is the right way for someone to behave, or what is the right way for someone to exist. We can't change that that is out there. What we can do is we can control who we are in the process of living our lives and how we treat others, right? Now, there's a second part of it. This is important, and I think this is really important, especially when we start talking about co-op. We need leaders. As much as we lament leaders, as much as we may not speak directly, especially in a positive connotation towards leaders, we need leaders. The world is starving for good leaders because I want to find the right way to say this. Give me a second. People are put into positions of leadership who are not necessarily leaders, right? People are put in positions of leadership because they share a familiarity with someone else who's already in leadership, right? And then we pick leaders based off of, hey, how much of me do you share? Like, how much of what I see in myself do I see in you? And then I'm going to put you into a space of leadership because of that. And these people aren't leaders. They're people who are in power. We have to understand the difference between someone who is in power and someone who is a leader, right? So if you've ever worked in a food service job, there's someone at that job, right? Depending on when you joined, there's someone in this restaurant that you're working in, especially in fast food restaurants in the United States, who everyone goes to get answers. It's never a manager. It's some man or some woman who's memorized what's necessary to make sure that you're successful and customers are happy, and they show up every day and they don't want to do it. They enjoy doing the work, right? And so they're not asking to be put into a position of being the leader, or being put into a position of being a boss or anything like that. But this is the person, when someone comes in that gets trained, This is who you go to. This is the person who provides you with confidence. This is the person who inspires you. This is the person who makes you believe if this is your first job, you have the ability to do it. This is the thing that's going to be important about being able to achieve things. And so that's why it's important to understand, guys, that when we're talking about leadership and we're talking about co-op and we're talking about community and doing this, someone has to be the leader. And the difficult part of being the leader is once you say, okay, I'm going to take on this leadership role, you also accept that failure that is not only possible but is assured to at some point arise. There's going to be something that doesn't work out exactly the way you want it to. Is 100% your fault. One of the things I said as a coach when I was younger, and I used to do some personal training, some coaching, I used to say, hey, as a head coach, if we are successful, it's only because you guys were able to do the work to get us to success, right? If we are successful, it's because I've been able to get from you what has always been inside of you, and you guys worked as a unit and we achieved success. All of our success rides on what you guys do when you're out there. You are the reasons that we are successful. If we fail, it's 100% on me. Because if we fail, it's either the game plan that I had, it's either my inability to motivate you, it's my inability to get the best out of you, it is my inability to convey to you your talent and your development and your ability. And so that falls on me. And so when we start to understand that as a leader, I need to take the responsibility of the failure. This is the biggest job I do as a leader, is I give you the freedom to be the best version of you. I give you all the freedom to be the best version of you. So if we are unsuccessful, there's a place for that, blame the rest. That's one of the biggest things for leaders. Leaders need to be able to inspire people to give their best and shoot to become their best and try to grow to be their best. And the failure of the leader is if that individual doesn't achieve it and they feel like it's their fault, right? A good coach, a good teacher, anyone who's good, and this is why motivators are paid so much, is because they go out and they motivate people. I'm not going to tell you that, I'm going to tell you that it's not all about motivation, but motivation makes people feel good. What it's about unlocking that potential and that ability within the individuals and allowing for them to use that to see themselves grow. And then for them to understand that all I ever did for you was help you tap into what was already in you. This is what we do as coaches. This is what we do as developers. This is what we do as leaders we seek to bring out the best that we see inside of individuals so that they can perform and be the best versions of themselves in their lives. This is how we overcome fear. This is how we overcome the fear of failure. Failure stops being a destination and failure simply becomes just another location that we pass on our way to mastery. And we can see more successes in our life than we can see failures. We will always see more successes than we see failure. When we get to the point of being able to see and understand success and identify it for what it is and appreciate it, then we're able to slowly just begin to suppress fear. We're able to suppress fear because we understand it's fine. That shot wasn't perfect. You don't make 100% of them. You don't win every game. But this is growth. We're figuring out what works. We're learning what to do. And when it comes to our life, it's really good because We get to determine that. So that's important, guys. I'm going to take a look. Looks like Jesus himself. Can I call you Jesus? Nah, I'm just kidding. Jesus himself says, I love you, bro. Love you too, man. Good to see you here. Good morning. Looks like Stryker and Arusha, you guys still talking to each other? Stryker said, born leaders undertake their own will. When that will is needed, correct, truthful, followers amass in agreement. That can change history. Thankfully, it can. Arush said, bro, there's one more distraction, that opposite gender attraction and having a crush and getting attached too much. It's just too much, and it gets emotional. And since it's always one-sided, it's hurting. Okay, we could talk about relationships. The striker says the highest potentials get released. A think tank, get realized. A think tank, a collective of like-minded others being led by someone who embodies that. Yep, join, sign me up. Indeed, Striker. It says, IG, I must leave my questions and problems seem vague, must solve them by myself. Arush, bro, there's one more distraction. I get it, right? Uh, Jesus says, just realize that life is bigger. All right. What are you sorry for, Arush? Don't be sorry, man. Listen, relationships can be big, right? I just explained earlier that all of the actions that we take are emotional, right? They're all emotion-based. We're either trying to get away from an emotion or we're trying to get to an emotion, right? We're trying to get away from anger and we're trying to get to peace. We're trying to get away from sadness and we're trying to get to happy. We're trying to get away from boredom and we're trying to get to contentment. So they're locations, and then there is a way to get from one to the other. Now, I'm going to tell you, Arush, because this is important. Let me know if you're still here, Arush, because I don't want to spend too much time on this if you're not still here, but I'd love to answer this question for you. Mr. House said, love and peace. Jesus himself, give and pull, yin and yang, no pillows on the bed. Arush says, no, bruh, I ain't tripping that I failed. Son, a student trying to love academics and exam preparation, which I chose myself. All right. No, I'm just saying in terms of what you were saying about the relationship thing. Here's the thing about the relationship, right? It's really simple. It's really straightforward. One of the things that you have to understand is that because everything is about moving from one emotional state to another emotional state, relationships are a part of that. The biggest relationship you're going to have is a relationship with yourself. It's important that you have a good relationship with yourself. And what does it mean to have a good relationship with yourself? Well, what are you prepared to do for someone else to see them be happy, right? So I said before, one of the reasons people are unsuccessful in business is because all they do is they think about themselves, right? All they think about is how can I get myself money? How can I get myself more leads? How can I get myself a big house? How can I get myself a big car? How can I get myself millions of dollars? It's all about them. And they never think about solving problems for someone else, right? Now, one of the reasons that's very challenging for so many people to get to is because so many people do not have the ability to take care of themselves. So many people do not understand that in order for you to truly understand how to take care of someone else and to listen to someone else's needs and to be mindful of someone else's needs, is you need to understand how to be mindful of your own. You have to understand how to take care of you. You have to understand that you have value. Your time matters. Your thoughts matter. Your emotions matter. And you need to take time to address them. And so if you're fearful, if you would go to someone else who is fearful and say, hey, take a breath. You got this. Let's look at the work that you've already put in. I'm confident that you're going to be able to do it. I can understand and I can sympathize, I can empathize, and I can feel where you are right now, and not try to project who you are onto that individual. When we can come into their lives and we can say that to someone else, but we can't say that to ourselves. We can't comfort ourselves. We can't be there for ourselves. It creates some tremendous difficulty within our lives. So what are some of the things that we're going to have to do? We're going to have to learn. We're going to have to figure out. We're going to have to understand. And we're going to have to develop the skill sets to make it possible for us to do this, right? Just a second, guys. All right, guys, I apologize for that. I just checked the time. I'm going to be off of here in a few moments. As you guys know, I do have a family meeting. For those of you are on here with me regularly, you do know I have a family meeting every morning. And during the summer, at least for the first 2 weeks, we're starting at 7:30. So some of my children are starting to come up and come into the area. What I do want to do, guys, is I do want to thank you for being here. I do want to thank you for participating, sharing, and allowing for me to share with you. Arush said, I feel disgusted too of how damage I have made myself and the version complaints for this and cries. Uh, hey, Arush, man, listen, pull yourself together, man. Stop beating yourself up. It's fine to challenge yourself. It's good to challenge yourself and have expectations for yourself, but also take the time to love yourself. Understand that you matter, right? Understand that you have value to you and start to find your value in yourself, right? Striker, self-care is affirming one's worth each day. Say 3 things you like about yourself to yourself. External validation is like fear. It's a killer. Striker, I really love having you in the chat this morning. I appreciate you being here. And hey, Rich, you see how I paused before I said it? Rich, again, thank you for being here. Arush, I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you being here and sharing and allowing us to share with you. As always, guys, I want to always let you know discipline is made up of 4 things. Discipline is about repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. All 3 things. The first 3 all work on getting the thing done. In order to achieve anything, you must show repetition, you must be patient, understanding it'll take time, and you must work with consistency that would allow for growth to happen during the time while you're doing it. And then the last thing, perseverance works on you. Perseverance is about turning you into the person who you need to be in order for you to see the success you wish to see. Hey, Striker, out there in Australia, you're out there with Rich. This is an entire huge continent. I want to just ask if you 2 guys know each other. That's a silly question. Don't answer that. Hey, guys, but thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you guys stopping in. And as I said before, I'm here every morning, except for Sunday, between 4:30 and 6:30. I'm going to go ahead and head to this meeting with my family, guys. I want you to have a blessed day or a blessed remainder of your day. As always, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. Peace out, guys. Take care.